he's so humble and selfless, because all that he writes, it's all God inspired. It all comes from God, and it's not sort of woe is me, I'm in prison, but that sort of thing. It's all about guidance, and it's about encouragement. It's about words from God. It's just incredible. And then generally at the end of each letter, because it was all letters that he wrote to different churches of Colossians and Ephesus, etc., Philippi, he just puts a little bit at the end, say, don't forget me, your brother in chains. And but apart from that, he's just there to encourage, uplift, to guide, to give words on how the churches should behave, how they should conduct themselves, how they can equip themselves for any spiritual battle. Before I talk about the armour of God, I think it's important to know the context. So really, if we go to Ephesians 4, you okay there, Arj? You okay? Cool. So we start with Ephesians 4. I'm not going to read everything going through leading up to 6, you'll be pleased to hear, so we'll be off at a reasonable time today. But the one thing when I read this is, because to be honest, I haven't read this part of the Bible for quite a while. So when I read it, it reminded me so many different things, different qualities, and we only have to switch on the TV, put the computer on, look on our phone, read newspapers, some of the bad things that people do to one another, because they do the complete opposite to what God tells us to do and what Jesus tells us to do. And as Christians, as followers of God, all that followers of God, we need to change sort of from our old ways. It's not always easy. We need to change from our old ways, and baptism does part of that. It's a public declaration to others that we've taken that step, and we want to have that personal relationship with Jesus. But it says here, Jesus says, we should be completely humble and gentle, and be patient and bearing with one another in love. And we must make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. And then it goes on to say that Jesus Christ himself gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors and teachers to equip his people for works of service, so that the body of Christ may be built up until we all reach unity in the faith and knowledge of the Son of God, who became mature, attaining the whole measure of the fullness of Christ. Then we will no longer be infants, tossed back and forth by the waves. And instead, going on to verse 15, instead speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of him who is the head, that is Christ. And that's the really important thing to know, that the church isn't walls, it's not bricks and mortar. The church are people, and Christ is the head, and we all form different parts of the body, just like a physical body. And that's the one thing I love about the Bible, is that there's so much analogy, so many examples where, just like our body, if a part of the body, all different parts of the body have different purposes or have different uses, and that's the same with the body of Christ, his church. We need to keep God at the centre. He's the head of the church, but we can all play a part. We've all got a part to play, and it's never underestimate, but it's important as a church we all work together. And sometimes again you hear or see or experience where a church isn't functioning properly, and that's where there's problems that come along and where people get put off.